welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Patra with me, Shel Bhatnagar. This is a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Stupendous day of trade. You're seeing the Nifty hit record levels in trade today. Right now hovering at 22,768, about 125 points higher. Across the board, we are seeing several pockets that are supporting the market move today. Of course, it's the banking space that's again driven to the top gear. So 0.9% of move on the Nifty Bank, 49,911. The auto space has been zooming from the morning trade and continues to post some healthy gains even towards the end of the session. Over 2% of move can be seen on this one. PSU banks also, along with it the realty space, the entire space has been buzzing in action. A lot of sectors that are taking the lead in today's trading space. Apart from this, when we look at even the broader markets, you can actually look at the Midcap 100 and the Small Cap 100 indices, both in the green. 0.7% of gain on the mid-cap index, and the small caps up by half% as well. Among the top movers on the Nifty, it's M&M. That's now the top mover, 5% higher. Power Grid, Shriram Finance, IndusInd Bank, Hero MotoCorp. These are some of the other big movers as of now. F&O Space, clearly driven by REC. That's just posted its numbers, and right after it, it's a very strong move, 8.5% higher for REC right now. Shell.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the nitty-gritties of the market. You have record highs on the Nifty today. Nifty Auto Index ahead of tomorrow's release of April volume sales across the board. You have the mid-cap and the small cap indices running up for the sixth day in a row and putting in fresh record highs for the past 3 days. The momentum across the market is fairly robust. That's visible in the kind of advanced decline ratios that we often track for you. At the moment, if you see the advanced decline ratio across the National Stock Exchange is 1163 shares in the green compared with 900 that are in the red. The two sectors that are doing extremely well, the Nifty Auto Index is the top gainer, 2.2% higher, a fresh record high, driven by Mahindra & Mahindra, Maruti, Tata Motors, Eicher Motors, Ashok Leyland, and of course Bajaj Auto and Eicher Motors. You have the Nifty PSU index at a record high, 1.3% higher, 7670 for you. The entire basket of mid-cap and decently large-sized PSU banks such as PNB at 142.85, up about 4%. Bank of Baroda now making a move towards a fresh high. Canara Bank and of course a whole host of smaller banks are doing extremely well. Apart from that, you have stocks like REC doing phenomenally well, moving towards a record high, and that's simply because of the kind of earnings that the company has just come up with. I'll give you some details. Net interest income has surged 25% to 4,272 crores, and it's the profit after tax that's surged about 33% to about 4,016 crores. Improvement in gross net PA and net NPA as well. The counter above 503. The only point of dispute, or let's say quibble, is that today volumes are not in sync with what they are on a general trend for two reasons. You have the weekly expiry of the Bank Nifty today, a day in advance, because tomorrow is a holiday, and of course traders would be hesitant carrying long positions overnight. We have Mr. Sunny Agarwal, the Deputy Vice President, Head of Fundamental Research and Securities, joining us from SBI shortly. We'll be taking his views, but let's also look at the kind of record highs that have come in the market today. Within the Nifty 500, you have stocks such as M&M, 5% higher, 2158, Ashok Leyland, 4% higher, 192.80, Trent, 4461, 3.5% higher, Lemon Tree, Tejas Networks, Muthoot Finance, Havells. These are the stocks that are moving in sync. I'm just checking if Mr. Sunny Agarwal is with us. Good afternoon, Mr. Agarwal. Quite a sunny day on Dalal Street today. How do you see the sentiment?
Yeah, good afternoon, Shelji, and good afternoon, everyone. So basically, last 2 3 days has been really good in terms of market sentiment, and it's purely driven by the numbers which we are seeing, especially in the banking sector. So I feel especially larger names like ICICI Bank, Axis Bank. So these are the few names which are pulling the market up. In addition to that, I feel market is very optimistic that tomorrow onwards, when auto sales numbers start coming in, at least passenger vehicle and two-wheeler space is a segment to watch out for, where we are seeing a lot of activity in terms of volume growth, and those companies will continue to deliver. So I think it's a mix and match of basically stock-specific action which we are seeing in the market. And at the same time, the concern pertaining to the Iran-Israel war and pursuant crude oil prices, that is relatively vain as of now. So I think stock-specific activity again will continue henceforth, and we continue to remain bullish on the companies which are likely to report a healthy earning growth over the next 2 to 3 quarters.
Okay, got that. Sunny, are you looking at any top stocks amidst all the earnings heavy numbers that we are looking at right now? Where are you keeping your focus?
So again, companies or banks where numbers have already came in. So companies like banks like ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, among the private sector, these are the two banks where we continue to remain bullish post March quarter numbers. In addition to that, again, auto continue to remain our top favorite, although Maruti has reported kind of inline set of number. But what I believe is that in Maruti, the trigger of reduction in GST on hybrid vehicle front, that is something to be watched out for. On a relative basis, however, Mahindra and Mahindra look relatively cheaper on valuation front. And for Mahindra and Mahindra, there is one more trigger, the likely turnaround of Tech Mahindra. So that will again add value if you do an SOTP valuation for M&M. I believe the recent new launch today of remodeled X300 to 3XO. I believe the pricing is very competitive, and we may soon see 7 to 8,000 kind of monthly run rate coming from this model. So Mahindra and Mahindra continue to remain our top pick. Ashok Leyland, again, it's up today in the trade. What I feel is that Ashok Leyland, the story which played out earlier in the TVS Motor, where we have seen a consistent improvement in the margin. So Ashok Leyland is not at that stage. And we believe that a double-digit margin going forward in FY25 is a very strong probability, and hence we may see a re-rating in Ashok Leyland. So yeah, these are our few topics. Public sector, PSU, yes, again, that is one sector to look forward to. The reason being that with the election outcome very nearby, I feel the street will start again, smart money will start moving in the public sector companies which are predominantly order book driven businesses. So companies like Engineers India, or for that matter BHEL, or for that matter RVNL, IRCON. So these are a few public sector companies which can be on radar from a short to medium term perspective.
Okay, we are also getting some numbers right now. IOC has posted its Q4 numbers right now. The PAT has dropped by 40% at 4,838 crores for the company, and you can see a vertical downtick on Indian oil after the earnings, 4.4% down at 169 odd levels. Revenue has slipped by 0.6% at 1.97 lakh crore rupees. GRMs is the pain point, I believe, which has come in at $8.41 per barrel. Street estimates were in double digits and to the tune of $14-15 per barrel as well. So I think that could have been the key reason for the disappointment as well. Margins have also slipped to 5.3% from 7.8% sequentially as well. EBITDA has also slipped by about 33 odd percent at 10,435 crores. So all across the board, there is a drop as far as the earnings are concerned. On IOC, Sunny, if you could give us your comment.
Yeah, I think prima facie, what I can hear is it looks like a weaker set of number as far as the IOC is concerned. And anyways, I think June quarter number will again be tepid, because we all know that fuel prices have not increased. The post code of conduct came in, and we have seen some bump up in the crude oil prices. So to that extent, I think June quarter numbers will also be impacted. And Singapore GRM has also corrected significantly from higher levels of $8 to $9 to close to $4 as of now. So I think even June quarter will continue to remain tepid. So I think we would like to avoid all the oil marketing companies, including IFC, at the current juncture. Maybe buy on DB is the right strategy for all and this entire pack.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's now look at the broader view in the market and drill down in the auto sector. We've discussed frontline OEMs, but it's the ancillaries that are also creating a lot of noise. Apollo Tyres up 3.5% in futures, accompanied by 5.6% rise in open interest. The battery makers are back in action. Exide, after a stunning set of numbers, has surged 4.3%, and even after earnings have been announced, fresh positions on the long side have been taken by options traders. 16% rise in open interest in Exide post earnings. Very strong build up happening. So two earnings, boys, REC and Exide today showing very strong traction on the long side despite coming up with numbers. Let's discuss a couple of shares in the banking space. Sunny, your views on Bank of Baroda, PNB in particular. They have now started following the footsteps of SBI.
Yeah, I think, Shailji, I think there is still a lot of gap in terms of valuation to catch up with respect to their private peers. And I believe that ultimately, with a very strong franchising network, the ability to mobilize the low cost deposit, which is one of the key KPI to track for banking sector in FY25. So I think public sector bank has got that as a very strong, one of the important KPI, high CASA ratio, and I think that will at least help them to stabilize their NIM as early as possible. So we continue to remain bullish on entire public sector bank as a space. So we have seen very robust set of number coming from Bank of Maharashtra also. And again, within that, I think if somebody is a medium risk, moderate return seeker investor, I think one should stick with a large cap names like Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank.
Okay, so this is the view coming in on the PSU basket of public sector banks. Let's also look at one sector that's doing phenomenally well on the FNO space, and that's the set of indices. We'll show you the next Nifty 50. Remember, this is the index where fresh options trading has begun only this week, so we might as well start marking it in detail. The index, the Nifty Next 50, is up 1%. That's a whopping 650 points, ladies and gentlemen. 65,500 for you. The Nifty, Fin Nifty, that also has its weekly expiry today. 22,047, up 225 points. Needless to add, even at the Fin Nifty is at a record high, as also is the next Nifty. So these are the two indices that I have in mind that I am marking. A bit of a profit booking round that is happening on the markets post the IOC numbers. Vedant days low 2.2% higher, 397. Metals are seeing a fairly strong round of profit booking, as also BPCL 1.7% lower, 607. HPCL 1.5% lower, 497. Strong moves now coming in after 2 days of very solid gains, as also the fact that tomorrow is a holiday. People like to book the profit and move it from books to the bank. That's a more sensible thing to do. What else, Sunny, catches your eye as far as the action on Dalal Street is concerned?
I think one of the important point, Shailji, to note is that today being the last trading day for the month of April, what we are hearing is that maybe mutual fund which are flush with
Yes.
liquidity are deploying capital in the market, because there is some restriction in terms of cash holding which you can continue to hold for next month. So I think that is something which is also keeping domestic buying on a very strong numbers since last 2-3 days. So tomorrow onwards, probably that buying will be missing from the street, and henceforth the action will be stock specific. So I think rather than looking at index number, one should focus on stock specific action going forward. And again, as we have discussed, tomorrow as the auto sales numbers start to percolate, the street will accordingly react for an auto and auto ends. As a sector, banking continue to look good. PSU continue to look good. Chemical is the one sector where we are seeing some smart buying, which is emerging in a chemical sector. So companies where we have seen a recent big deal wins, especially companies like Ami Organic, or for that matter, Sudarshan Chemical, Aarti, and all the top names in chemical name there, we are seeing a smart buying. Consumer durable, I think that sector is looking good in terms of earning revival. So the entire consumer durable space, which was focusing predominantly on summer portfolio, the companies like Blue Star, Havels, Voltas, all these companies again we feel will continue to report a healthy set of number, and should risk reward is favorable in all these companies.
Okay. A lot of other earnings that are coming in, and we can continue to discuss all of them as well. On REC first, could you give us, Sunny, your view after the earnings we have seen from the company this time around, and a very strong surge after the earnings too, as far as the stock is also concerned. So the profit has come in at 4,079 crores. This is an improvement versus 3,065 crores last year same quarter. Revenues have jumped to 12,677 crores, and the company has also declared a final dividend of 5 rupees per share. What stands out for you in the REC earnings? The stock has jumped to the day's high level now. What more after the earnings?
I think a very robust set of numbers from REC, and even on valuation front, it's trading at a cheaper valuation as compared to IREDA. So I think right now trading close to 2 times price to book on FY24 numbers, and IREDA, which is trading close to 3 to 4 times price to book multiple. I think there is a long runway for REC and PFC both in terms of valuation catch up. And since the numbers are pretty robust for the March quarter, I think this upward momentum should continue, and we believe that maybe with the kind of renewable energy projects are getting commissioned in India over the period of next 3 to 5 years, I think 15 to 20% loan book expansion is very much on card, and at the same time coupled with this relating on valuation front. So I think the outlook is pretty robust as far as REC is concerned from a short-term perspective also.
Yes, and along with REC, now PFC has also shot up about 7% higher in trade, Sunny. So between REC and PFC, how would you really do that choice?
I think if somebody buy PFC, I think he get to play both PFC and REC. So PFC is an holding company for REC. So I think it doesn't matter. So one can ride either through PFC and REC for this renewable energy sector.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at 2:52. About 38 minutes of trade are left, and there seems to be a bit of profit booking that's happening. Remember, the Nifty's day high was somewhere like 22,780. We are now at 714. So that is something to be looked at. The other point to look at is also the Bank Nifty. We were almost 49,980, and from then on it's slipped about 300 points intraday. So this is what needs to be looked at. These are the 2 points that are showing significant, let's just say mild profit booking. One doesn't have to be worried about, because yesterday Nifty had gained 213 points. the Bank Nifty had gained a whopping 1100 points, and from the low of 19th April, the rally is worth about 3000 points on the Bank Nifty and somewhere like 1000 points on the Nifty itself. So the market is taking back some of the lovely gains that it has given to the index. Let's also look at some volume buzzers in the market. Like I had earlier mentioned, that the only quibble today would be how volumes haven't sustained themselves in the top traded list on the NSE. RECL, what Sakshi and Sunny just discussed, has shown a turnover of about 2800 crore rupees. The counters up smartly. The next three are banks: HDFC, Kotak and ICICI Bank. Modest trading volumes there, 2475 crores for HDFC, Kotak 2232 crores. Then comes interestingly Trent and Power Finance Corporation. These are two interesting names that we'll discuss. Trent 4432, 3% higher post earnings, and the volume of 2000 crores is a multiple times its 5-day average, which we'll soon find out. Trent's 5-day average, ladies and gentlemen, is now about 4.4 times higher. So this is a stock that I'd like to discuss with Mr. Agarwal. Sunny, what do you think about Trent? Morning it was up 9%, it's now up just 3%. Very strong set of earnings coming in.
I think there is no doubt that company continue to outperform all the peers in terms of operating as well as financial performance. But one need to keep in mind the valuation at which Trent is trading. So I think for FY24, company has reported close to 1000 crore profit, and market cap is close to 1.5 trillion rupees. So that's 150 times price to earning multiple. Even if I bake in that earnings will double in next 2 years, I think 2 year forward, still the forward P looks to be 75 times price to earning multiple. So I think a very good set of numbers, but trading at an expensive valuation. I think buy on dip is something which one should follow as a strategy as far as Trend is concerned.
Okay, fair point. I'll also mark a couple of indices now. The sell-off, let's just say profit booking, is fairly strong. Bank Nifty is now at 49,600. It was at about 49,950 about 20 minutes ago. It's still up 174 points, and remember today is the weekly expiry of this index, which has been pulled ahead. The Nifty itself has fallen below 22,700. No problem there, it's still up 55 points. But remember, the most recent high was 22,780. So profit booking now coming in as far as prices are concerned on both the index as well as individual stocks. There is no stopping REC, almost 506.75, 10% higher. Since this is a move which has come post its earnings, I just want to see what is the all-time high for the counter, and that will be, just a moment please, is 524. Still away, but given the fact that it's moved post earnings, it's only a matter of time before this is also taken out. What else is moving, ladies and gentlemen? Some stocks are up 20%, but I'd rather not take their names. But definitely this one, Shriram Finance. The move comes again post earnings, 3.5% higher, 2277. Sunny, your view on Shriram Finance's earnings?
Yeah, I think a very robust set of number again posted by the Shriram Finance, and we continue to remain bullish on Shriram Finance as an NBFC. And I think the fair value of the business is close to 3,000 rupees per share. If somebody has got an investment horizon of 12 to 18.
Okay. Well,
fair point. And any view that you would hold on Bajaj Finance?
I think the Bajaj Finance, what I feel is that although the company continue to grow at 20-25% plus rate, but valuation is something where I feel the street is slightly apprehensive about. trading close to 4 times price to book, and over the period of time we have seen the growth rate has tapered down. So I think we continue to remain neutral as far as Bajaj Finance is concerned. At a current juncture, there are many other NBFCs which are trading at a reasonable valuation and which offers a better risk-reward ratio at the current juncture.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sunny, for being with us on the show and sharing all these insights and various views on the several stocks that we've discussed on the back of earnings with you. Good to have you with us and hope to see you back again on Market Today and on Business Today television. Viewers, time to also welcome now our other guest on the show, Vaishali Parikh joins in, the Vice President, Technical Research and Analysis at Prabhudas Leeladhar. Vaishali, good afternoon. Good to have you with us on Business Today. Tell us again a stellar day of trade when we've seen record levels across the board on Nifty, Nifty Bank, mid and small caps, and several sectoral indices like autos itself. How are you looking at the market setup, and where are you keeping your focus in terms of stocks?
Very good afternoon to all of you. So yes, we have actually met with our weekly target in Nifty at 22,800. We've precisely been pretty much close to that. And for Bank Nifty also, it was a good, much awaited target that we were looking forward to. So yesterday we saw a good decisive breakout in Bank Nifty. So 50,000 was the near-term target, and that's what we have achieved. So I guess some profit booking cannot be ruled out right now because tomorrow also being a holiday. But having said that, the upward bias still continues. We would be still positive. Now we would say that 22,400 acts as the near-term support. And for Bank Nifty, I would say now 49,000 to 48,800. That would be the support range, because if we again move past 22,800, 23,000, 23,200 cannot be ruled out. So yes, it is a cautiously positive approach now.
Okay. And your top two stock ideas for the day?
Well, so I would now recommend NHPC. Right now, I'm seeing this stock is in momentum, and 96 is the current market price. I would take a stop loss of 92 and look for a target of 105 from here on. And the other stock to my liking today is Engineers India. Well, a good support at around 220 levels. And the stock has got into new round of momentum. So I would say, yes, 220 as a stop loss, 270 would be the target.
All right. Good afternoon, Vaishali. A very warm welcome to you on a lovely day as far as Dalal Street is concerned. Record highs across the board. Mid caps, small caps, autos, PSU banks, you name it, the bulls are ruling the roost on Dalal Street. Let's hope this one continues at least till June 4th, and whatever the markets are thinking logically, that happens in reality as well. Tell us your favorites in the auto space. Very strong growth coming in, and Mahindra in particular. What are the charts telling you? Up 4% today.
Oh yes, so Mahindra and Mahindra has definitely given a breakout today. If we see right from the beginning of the day, once we saw that there was strength, so it has given a breakout. I think it can go towards 20 to 2300 levels from here.
Okay, fair point. And how about tire makers, Apollo Tires or JK Tires or Seat? All three of them showing smart gains, at least in the morning trade. A view on Ashok Leyland as well.
So yes, to start with, Ashok Leyland, if you remember last week, I had recommended this stock, and I am quite bullish on this, and it has given a breakout furthermore. So yes, it is at 194, 195. Yeah, currently it's 192. I think now this becomes a buy at every decline. The near-term support comes to around 184. So I would now be aiming for a target of 200, 220. So Ashok Leyland, it's quite a good positional trade. As far as the other stock, which one was that you asked me?
I mentioned Apollo Tires, ma'am.
Yes, so Apollo Tires, yes, all tires are showing some momentum, but let's see, we need to have a follow-up buying because it is come out of the consolidation. So I would say now 480 acts as a good support, and gradually the stock can go towards 540 levels.
All right. Okay. So that's as far as some of the auto-related stocks are concerned. We also spoke to the top management of KPIT Technologies after the earnings, and KPIT Tech anticipates a promising year ahead with strong demand, although it does acknowledge challenges that are stemming from geopolitical tensions as well as pressure from Chinese OEMs as well. And Sachin Tikekar, the co-founder and joint MD of KPIT Tech, was with me earlier. Let's listen in to what he foresees for the company in FY25.
The demand continues to look fairly robust for KPIT, in spite of some of the headwinds that are being faced due to geopolitical issues, not only because of the couple of wars that we have on our hands, but also the prominence of the Chinese car makers, who are putting tremendous pressure on all the other global OEMs in terms of the cost features and just the quality part. So, in short, the market continues to be fairly dynamic. In spite of the headwinds, we think that we are on a sound ground at this point in time.
Right. So, but you've also given and announced the guidance for the new fiscal of 18 to 22% growth on the top line, and the profit margin number at 20.5%. Why is there then conservation in terms of the numbers that you've put here?
The way we provide guidance is what we already have, the business that will get forward, and then, what kind of growth which is visible to us. Based on that, we believe 18 to 22% is possible.
Okay, so that was the top management of KPIT Tech. Let me take the question across to Vaishali. Vaishali, brokerage houses are divided after the numbers of KPIT Tech. We have Goldman Sachs, which is given a buy rating at a 1900 kind of a bullish target on KPIT Tech. The stock has dropped after the earnings, and Kotak Institutional has given a sell rating with a 1050 kind of target. Very, very divergent views coming in after the Q4 numbers. How are you assessing the charts of KPIT Tech, and what would you advise?
So my view for KPIT is positive right now because first reason, it has made a double bottom on a 200-day moving average, the support being now at 1320. And now it's getting into a trend, but furthermore confirmation is required. This stock needs to move past 1565 levels decisively. And if we see a sustenance above that, I think this stock is ready. It would show a healthy move towards 1750, 1780. So for now, keeping these levels in mind, I would take a positive view on this.
Okay, a positive view on KPIT Tech. Let me just look at some of the big movers in the F&O space right now. Apart from the power finances that we've been discussing, it's Jubilant Foodworks that's again shot up. This is again after the earnings too. How are you looking at this stock? We've seen the stock spring back into action after a long haul. Jubilant Foodworks at 463. Would you be keen looking at this stock at 5.5% higher today?
So this stock has been quite a laggard. I mean, we've not seen this showing any strength at all. But purely on technical terms, I mean, I think right now it makes a good favorable risk reward stock. So with a stop loss of 435, I guess this stock, if it closes above 470 levels, I would say yes, it's out of the woods and we can see a bounce at least up to 500. So this would be my strategy.
We'll focus back on the two main indices, ladies and gentlemen. Some decent amount of now profit booking happening ahead of what is a holiday right in the middle of the week tomorrow. The Nifty is now just up 32 from at about 22,675. It slipped exactly 100 points from its intraday high. The Bank Nifty now just 155 points higher at 49,550. This has slipped 400 points from its intraday high. Both stocks, both indices, needless to say, were at record highs today. What else is happening? Some stocks that I want to mark on the Nifty for reasons that are going to be clear tomorrow. Within the Nifty, let's look at the top gainer for today. which is we both have discussed this, M&M Power Grid and Shriram Finance. Coming to you, Vaishali, the two banks that started it all, Axis and SBI. What are the long-term charts of both these stocks telling you? Very strong numbers coming in from Axis, followed by ICICI. SBI, we are yet to get them. But what are the charts of these two, Axis and SBI, telling you?
So let's start with SBI. SBI has been in a very strong uptrend. We were looking at 830 as the near-term target resistance. Well, we are pretty much there. So if we see a decisive move about that, I think we would be aiming for a target of 850, 880, 900. These are the levels that one can see for SBI. As far as Axis is concerned, well, we have already seen a good upward move coming in. And right now, even on a weekly chart, it is given a breakout. So I think in all likelihood, this can go towards 1200, 1220. Because to be in sync with that, because we are looking at Bank Nifty, if it moves above 50,000, 50,500, 51,000 could be the next level. So these banks have to participate.
Okay, I'll give you the year-to-date performance of both these banks. Let's look at State Bank of India. You won't believe it, but it's up 30%. Let's look at ICICI Bank, up 13%. Let's look at Axis Bank. Over the last 3 months, it's appreciated 10%. So you can see that the private sector peers are going to play catch up. And remember, we've had earnings coming in from ICICI, Axis, HDFC Bank, as also Kotak and IndusInd Bank as well. It's only the biggest boy in the segment, which is SBI, which is yet to report earnings, but things are looking good for that one as well. Slippages again, the profit booking is now getting intense. You are just 63 points up on the Bank Nifty. Remember, this is the weekly expiry of the index today as well, just 49,490. The Nifty is now up just I think Nifty is now in negative, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it's down 10 points at about 22,632. Nothing to be worried about. These are all actions that are happening ahead of the holiday, but no stopping REL 508.5. Let's see what the volumes are on REC. Now 3,286 crores. The counter is up 10%. So I would imagine this is the first circuit that will come in. Yes, 10% higher now. 509.35. Remember, 524 is the all-time high of RECL, and the fact that the entire PSU basket is coming back in favor as far as traders are concerned for the short move. This is something to be looked forward to. What else is buzzing at this point of time? Let's see 52-week highs. Some stocks that we normally avoid not mentioning, but they just slip from our radar. Just Dial 6% higher, 1151. KFin Technologies 750, 6% higher. Usha Martin 5% higher, 376. And stocks such as Karur Vyasa Bank 4% higher, 204. Power Grid Corporation 3% higher, 302. BHEL and Lemon Tree. I'll take your view on Lemon Tree, Vaishali. Fresh record high, 153, 2.3% higher. What are the medium-term charts telling us on Lemon Tree Hotels?
So I would say, well, quite overbought on the daily chart also, but still no signs of fatigue. So I would say one can keep a trailing stop loss and go with the flow and go for a target of 170.
Okay, So that's the view on Lemon Tree Hotels. The markets are slipping away. So the Nifty is also tested briefly 22,600 on the downside, now 40 points lower in trade. And the contributing factors are large banks, which pulled up the markets in the last 2 days of a run up and towards the record high levels in trade today. So it's HDFC Bank that's again dragging and is contributing almost 15 points to the downside on the Nifty. ICICI Bank is contributing about 12 odd points. You also have Kotak Bank that's contributing about 6 points, and then you have the IT majors Infosys and TCS both contributing anywhere about 11 to 13 odd points on the downside as far as these major banks and major IT companies are concerned. How would you really look at this dip on ICICI Bank, on HDFC, Kotak Bank as of now, Vaishali?
So ICICI has a strong trend as compared to HDFC Bank and Kotak Bank. So ICICI becomes a buy at every decline. If someone has bought it at lower levels, continue holding, because this can go towards 1200 levels as far as ICICI is concerned. Well, HDFC Bank has been in a very range-bound movement. So I would say the support, the band is 1480 to 1555, 1560 levels, because it has not been able to move past the 200-day moving average. So I would say, well, there is nothing much happening in HDFC Bank for now. The confirmation comes only above 1560 levels. As far as Kotak is concerned, we are just seeing a bounce back. There is nothing concrete that there is any trend reversal or something like that. So I would just say wait for some furthermore confirmation. Kotak Bank changes its only above 1850. So well, that could be a range one can observe.
So that's as far as the major banking counters are concerned that are contributing on the downside on the Nifty right now. So you can see Nifty slipping below 22,600 now, 45 points lower in trade. But it's the broader markets that continue to show strength, and it's the mid-cap space stocks that continue to rise and shine even right now. Many of the stocks that are still hovering at the day's high, and among the top movers includes names very rarely which we discuss on the show, like stocks like Vesuvius India, for example, that's hit a record high after strong Q4 earnings. The stock has risen 35% on a year-to-date basis. Revenues for the company have jumped 23%. EBITDA is up 73%. Margin is expanded by 600 basis points for Vesuvius, and net profit is up about 59 odd percent. How would you look at Vesuvius shares? Would you have do you track this stock for our viewers?
So yes, the stock has opened with a gap up. So I would say if one has to buy as an aggressive trader, keep today's low as the stop loss, that is 4550, and go for the stock, and it can show 5200 to 5500 levels as the next target.
Okay. Another stock from the mid-cap basket is KPIT Tech that I wanted to discuss. The stock has been continuously gaining for the last 7 straight sessions. It's now hit a record high after the company's Q4 profit also rose in this quarter about 11 odd percent. Revenue is up 5%, EBIT is up as well, and margins have also improved by 77%. How would you look at KPIT Tech?
Well, it's in a very strong uptrend. We are seeing higher highs and new highs. So I think, yes, 720 acts as the near-term support, and this can go towards 800, 820.
Let's look at some other counters which offer an opportunity to buy the dip, and that is perhaps visible in Tata Chemicals. The chart will be there right in front of you. This is a counter that reported its earnings late yesterday, which were a disaster, and the counter has now moved actually up from its intraday low, which was 1053, and it's now at 1072. What this interests me is for 2 reasons. All-time high is 1350, and now around 200 DMA, a good support has been built. All the bad news is now in the price. What now, Vaishali? Tata Chemicals.
So yes, as you rightly said, it's very close to its 200-day moving average, but today's low has to be respected for the stock to show strength. So if we see a good bounce back and the gap
Yes.
filling the following day, I think it will be back on track. And well, we would observe a range and a strong resistance at 1180. If we see a move past that, yes, we are looking at higher levels.
Fair point. So over the next couple of days, we'll be watching Tata Chemicals for two reasons. There is almost a 25% correction from peak, 1350 minus 1052 divided by 1350. Yeah, it's a 22% correction. And the fact that, earnings are out. The company announced a 900 crore impairment loss in its UK operations. Anything and everything that could go bad for Tata Chemicals happened. There was a 900-point contraction in operating margin from 21.9 to 12.8. Despite all this, the counter is up from its day's low. We'll wait for this base formation to take place and then probably take a view sometime later from Vaishali. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, things are accelerating at the moment. Nifty is down 23 points. I have a price of 22,620 in front of me, and of course there is continued profit booking that's happening in the bank Nifty as well. Now just up 22 points, 49,450. Let's just look at how other indices have performed. I just want to see, this is what I was about to mention. From the 19 indices that we track for you, ladies and gentlemen, in the morning, all 19 were in the green. As of now, only 5 indices are in the green. The losses are mounting on Nifty IT index, 1.2% lower, 33,174. The metals index profit booking 1.1% lower, 9164. Pharma, Nifty Bank, FMCG, the small cap and the mid cap indices have corrected a bit. Remember, the small cap index is up for 6 days in a row, ditto the mid cap index. So profit booking round is happening at that level. Which are the indices that are still in the green? The Nifty Auto Index being the top performer, 1.8% higher, 22,471. Remember, it's the examination, the monthly examination that happens for the auto counters. Tomorrow, it being a holiday, these companies will be still reporting their volume sales for the month of April. We'll be keeping an eye out on them. But for the moment, what has been a great day is now turning into profit booking. Sakshi.
3:21, right time to ask Vaishali for BTST and STBT trades. Vaishali, if you could give us one or two stocks that one can look for BTST or STBT.
So one is Sudarshan Chemicals in the cash category. If you see, the volume has been quite high and it's nearing the weekly resistance of 770. So I would say with a stop loss of 700, Sudarshan Chemical becomes a good buy for a target of 780 to start with. And if it's a positional trade, if there is a decisive move past that, one can hold for higher target levels as well. And as far as the other stocks are concerned, I maintain my positive bias on Ashok Leyland because in spite of all the choppiness, it is still holding on at its level. So I would say it's a buy, looking for a target of 200, stop loss 180.
Okay, got that. So that's the calls for you on the BTST basis. On BHEL, I wanted your attention, Vaishali. The company has entered into a strategic partnership agreement for railway signaling business with a Dubai-based company called Hema Middle East. How would you really look at BHEL right now? There is some move about 1.5% higher. It did spike, but then came off that high point.
The trend is good. There has been a very brief consolidation. So 274 acts as a very good support, and the stock can go towards 300 levels.
Okay. Right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 7 minutes left, and we've just sort of paused a bit on the market. Everybody's digesting gains that have come in very sharply. 213 points on the Nifty yesterday, 1200 points on the Bank Nifty on Monday. And if you look at the rally that's happened from April 19th, these gains have been even more fantastic. Let's look at how open interest has moved in sync with the price gains. I'll send some great numbers to you. Just allow me a couple of moments to arrange these software, and then we'll discuss some good trends for you. Okay, consistent weakness and persistent. Remember, this is a mid-cap software company that reported its earnings early the previous week. It's down for 5 days in a row. Ambuja Cement, now this is something to be looked forward to. Remember, Ambuja Cement reports its earnings tomorrow, which itself is a holiday. Let's look at what the charts are saying. Yes, this is interesting, down 4 days in a row, and the volumes are increasing. Vaishali, very strong moves coming in on Ultratech, the larger rival of Ambuja. What are the charts telling you?
So let's see. Ultratech is showing signs of strength. Actually, it is getting into a trend, and we have a near-term hurdle at 10,300 levels. So if we move past that, yes. So for now, let's take 10,300 as a target for now. But Ambuja has shown some signs of weakness. So keeping in mind, I think 634 acts as a resistance. Only if we see the stock moving above 634, there is further strength. Else, we can see some more profit booking coming in, maybe towards 600 levels.
Okay, and one stock that I have to mark, this is one of those very, very quiet overachievers, is HDFC Asset Management Company. Today's price action is phenomenal. This is at 38.83 and in sync with its all-time high, which was somewhere like 3,903. Vaishali, what are the charts of HDFC AMC telling you?
I think it's a buy. 3750 is a crucial support and very high volume. After a good consolidation, one more good bullish candle formation. So I think one can buy for a target of 4,000 plus.
Okay, this is an interesting point that I'm going to mention. Since the low that it hit of 1750, actually the low was 1590. This was in the month of March 2023. From then on the monthly chart, every single month, HDFC Asset Management Company has made a higher high and a higher low. Even the close that was there in March was slightly flat, but it was above the close of February, and now the uptrend has again started. One of the biggest beneficiaries, ladies and gentlemen, of the wealth effect in India and the movement of systematic investment plans into the market. This is something which is really, really fascinating, but it also is coming on fairly high volumes. Today's picture is about 16.7 million shares that are traded, which is 3 times the daily average of about 3 times the 5-day average of about 6,17,000 shares. So this is something worthwhile. We'll be checking this on Thursday as well. Sakshi.
Cholamandalam Investment has reported its earnings in the dying hour of the trade. So the NII for the company has improved by 33% at 2,355 crore rupees. So this is a year-on-year jump of about 33%. The net profit has jumped up 24% year on year to 1,058 crores, and the stock is reacting positively by, I think, about 2% higher now, 2.2% higher at this point in time. Vaishali, how do you look at the charts of Chola Investment?
I think it's quite a good stock. I think near-term support is at 1160 and resistance at 1236. So if you move past that, because it's in the process of higher bottom, higher top formation. So if it is moving past 1236, we would be aiming for a target of 1300 plus.
1300 plus. Okay, so that's the target for Chola Investment. The Nifty Bank has slipped to the day's low now. It's dipped up. It's fallen about 670 points from the day's high point. So after all that celebration, record moves, it's seen sharp profit booking in trade today. Vaishali, how would you look at Nifty Bank now for day after tomorrow?
So I would say 49,000 is a good support, or 48,800. That would be a level to re-enter, because I think the story is still not over.
Story is still not over. It's a wonderful way to end this show, Vaishali, and we will get you back very soon on Business Today and on Market Today as well. Just about a minute to go, so we'll start wrapping up the markets for you viewers. 57 points lower as far as the Nifty is concerned. 22,587 is the Nifty Bank. That's now slipped about 0.3% in trade, so 49,277, and that's a 140 point of a dip on that one. Sectorally speaking, the gains remain on of course the auto space, that's the top mover, the realty space, that's still up 1.5%, PSU banks that still hold on to some green in trade, about 1/10% higher. The public sector index, that's the CPSE index, that's 0.5% high in trade, and the auto space, although lower than the day's high point, but still holding up to about 1.9% higher. But along with the Nifty Bank, Nifty Financial Services have slipped into the red. You have FMCG that's down now. Metals index has lost about 1%. You have the oil and gas index that's down by 0.7%. The capital goods index that's down by 0.4%, and the pharma index also that's down by about 0.7% in trade as of now. What remains in the positive zone on the Nifty is clearly the M&M stock that continues to hold on, and without budging from about 4.5–5% kind of a move that we saw on this one. Power Grid, Hero MotoCorp, Shriram Finance, Bajaj Auto remain the top 5 movers as far as the Nifty is concerned. On the downside, you have Tech Mahindra, that's down 2%, Dr. Reddy's, Sun Pharma, Tata Steel, HCL Technologies, BPCL and JSW Steel as the top losers or the laggards on the Nifty. As far as the F&O gainers include, it's REC and PFC that were still up about 9% and 6% respectively. You had Jubilant Foodworks, M&M, Pidilite, Trent, Ashok Leyland, Exide. So many of these stocks that we discussed with our guests today that continue to hold on strong in the F&O action. On the downside in the F&O space, you had IOC, Birla soft after the earnings, Aditya Birla Capital, Tata Chemicals that we discussed after the earnings again, PI Industries are the ones that did see some losses to the tune of 2.5% to almost 4.5% each in trade today. So of course the Nifty and the Sensex have slipped almost to the day's low and are closing in the red right now. We'll wrap it up at that. Many thanks from both Shell and me, and on this edition we will continue to get you more insights from the world of business and stock markets. So do stay tuned on to Business Today television as the coverage continues even beyond the market hours. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is the earnings special edition. Our focus in this edition is on PNB Housing. The company's reported its earnings for Q4. On a standalone basis, we've seen that the net profit has grown 57% to 443 odd crore rupees for the company. The total income has rallied by 11% at 1806 crores. The interest income has also seen an improvement of 6.5% to 1683 crores. Even on the asset quality front, we have seen an improvement on the gross non-performing asset ratio. It's come down to 1.5% from 1.73% in the previous quarter. The net NPA has stood at